everyone, welcome back to DiamondTrail Ranch. In today's video, we're diving deep into a serious and often deadly condition in goats called bloat. I'm sure you're all, unfortunately or fortunately, familiar with bloat. And I say that in a way that I hope you're informed. If not, that's what this video is for, guys. So if you raise goats or are thinking about, getting into goats, this is one of the videos I highly recommend that you watch all the way through, because bloat can actually kill a goat in a matter of hours if it's not caught and treated quickly. So, but don't panic. I'm going to walk you through exactly what causes it, how to spot it early, and what you can do to treat it both naturally and medically, and most importantly, how to prevent it in the first place. This is Bucky Boy over here. Dixie Girl's out right now doing this is part of our morning walk on our homestead where we check all the animals. Kids just got dropped off at their various camps this morning. One of them's in soccer camp. The daughter's in art camp this morning. She's doing comic illustration and whatnot. Looks like Calypso is in between the fences again, so I'm gonna have to back her up. This way, Calypso. Bloat, obviously, it's not something to mess around with. It's a condition where the goat's rumen, that's the largest part of their 4-part stomach, fills with gas and becomes distended. Normally, goats constantly burp up gas as a byproduct of digestion. That's just part of what they do. But when something blocks this release, like certain foods, sudden diet changes, health issues, gas can build up rapidly. The rumen expands like a balloon, and this puts intense pressure on their lungs and heart. You'll see goat bloat, if you let them out and roam in pasture, they can get really bad bloat. If you leave it untreated, though, it can cause death from suffocation or shock. There are two main types of bloat in goats. There's frothy bloat and there's free gas bloat. Frothy bloat is when gas is trapped in foam in the rumen, often caused by legumes like alfalfa, clover, or sudden lush pasture. Free gas bloat is when gas builds up because the goat physically cannot burp. I feel like I've experienced that once or twice in my life. I'm just saying. Usually it's due to an obstruction or a nervous system, issue. So now you're probably wondering, though, what actually causes bloat? It's usually due to an obstruction. It's a good question, though. Diet changes can cause it. Overeating, the blockage, the choking, wet clover, alfalfa, too much grain, stress. So if you get too much, if you get a big change in their diet, especially adding the grains, rich hay like alfalfa, fresh spring pasture can throw off the balance in the rumen. Goats love grain, but too much leads to fermentation and gas buildup. Wet clover, or specifically more alfalfa, I would say is probably more common, depending on where you live. Especially when it's damp and lush, it can cause foam to trap the gas. Overeating is big for goats. Goats that break into the feed room, which happens way more times than I like to admit, they get too much concentrate and can suffer immediate bloat. Choking, blockage, like I mentioned, something physically stuck, like a piece of carrot or a chunk of a mineral block, can stop them from burping. Stress, if they get transported from A to B, can cause issues. Sudden weather changes. It's just starting to be very stormy here. We're in that time of year, which is great for us. Or an illness can trigger digestive slowdowns and bloat. So here's what you need to look out for, though. These are right here are going to be your classic signs of bloat in a goat, and you really need to act fast if you do notice these signs. So they'll have a swollen left side of the abdomen high up. This is where the rumen is located on a goat. Restlessness, your goat may be pacing, getting up and down, kicking at their belly. That's a big one. Grinding their teeth. This is a pain signal if they are grinding their teeth. They might have labored breathing, grunting. They might have stretched out neck. They may stand with their head up, gasping. No rumen sounds at all. Normally, you'll hear gurgling on the left side. If it's silent, that's a bad sign. Give me a second. I'm going to let these little chicks out. That rat quit. There we go. Dixie, silly girl, you knocking everything over. It's part of the homestead life. There you go, chickies. I'll let them jump out. If they get lethargic, or if the goat is just straight up collapsing, it means it's very severe and urgent as well. If you see any of those signs there that I mentioned, here's what you need to do immediately. Remember, I said labored breathing, stretched out neck, no rumen sounds, they get lethargic. If they're grinding their teeth, if they get restless or a swollen left side, do this stuff immediately and do not wait. Bloat can go from mild to deadly in under an hour. There's Derpy. These girls are looking good. Mr. Moo over there, there's some chickens laying eggs inside that tire. It's just the nature of homesteading. Your first step should be to walk the goat around, kind of like when you get runners, stomach issues, same kind of thing. Gentle movement can help stimulate rumen activity and encourage burping. Next, you're going to grab some basically Gas X, the simethicone, that's infant gas drops. You want to give them about 3 to 5 milliliters orally. This helps break up foam. It's safe, guys. This breaks up foam and frothy bloat and can relieve pressure quickly. You want to massage the left side of the goat's belly, work it in a circular motion for a while. If you can get a burp out, that's a good sign. Kind of like a baby, right? You want to burp the baby. If the bloat is grain related, you want to mix a tablespoon of baking soda and water and drench the goat using a syringe or drench gun. Baking soda helps neutralize acid and slow fermentation. Another trick for you, offer them activated charcoal or a milk of magnesia, because both can help absorb toxins and slow down rumen fermentation if poisoning or imbalance is suspected. You can't rule out anything, you know what I'm saying? You really can't. In a pinch, if it's like on the fly, oh no, this is what's going down, some goat keepers will give mineral oil, not vegetable oil, don't give them that, to help lubricate the rumen and allow gas to pass. Don't use it if you're unsure whether it's frothy or free gas bloat, though. Don't use the mineral oil if you're not sure which one it is. If nothing is helping and your goat is worsening, folks, it's time for unfortunately, an emergency goat visit. An emergency vet intervention is what happens when you start goats too long. You call everything goaties. His name is Ghost. How cool is that, right? That's a neat name, Ghost. The vet may need to pass a stomach tube to release gas manually, or if it's life-threatening, they may need to perform not a tracheotomy, but a rumen trocar insertion, which is literally, they would be puncturing the rumen with a sterile needle to relieve pressure. So, a tension pneumothorax. Let's switch gears though and talk about some prevention here on bloat, right? How can we do prevention with goat bloat? Because see, his tummy looks fine. He's a big boy with little tummy. Yeah, that's a little girl with little tummy. All these little girls and little tummies. It's good. I know. Yep. Ridiculous teeth. They look so funny sometimes. What else do we have going on here? I'm going to give you some tips on that, on switching gears with prevention. So you want to introduce the new feed slowly. If you're switching from hay to pasture or grains, Do it over a course of like, I'd say 7 to 10 days, honestly. You want to always provide free choice baking soda to them. Goats will self-regulate and lick it when their rumen needs balancing. Tip number 3 for you is going to be to avoid feeding wet legumes, beans, things of that nature. If your clover or alfalfa is damp from dew or rain, please wait until it dries before you offer it to your goats. Tip number 4, you want to feed hay before turnout. Giving dry hay before letting goats on lush pasture helps buffer their rumen and slow down the rich food intake. That's a big deal. Tip 5 for you here, provide plenty of clean water. Dehydration slows digestion and makes bloat worse. Tip number 6 on prevention, prevent feed room break-ins. Put clips on your gates, man. Goats are smart and they will gorge on grain if they can. Keep all feed in locked containers or rooms. We keep ours in a certain part of the garage for now. So we have a giant garage door, and then in between we have the gates with these clips on them. I'll show you. I think the actual pen has the clips on them right now. Just as an example, you can use, any chain and clip. So there's that, right? Tip number 7, you want to monitor mineral intake. A good quality loose mineral can support a healthy digestion and prevent imbalance. Tip number 8, know your goat's personality. Some goats eat faster, some push others away. Look at what you're seeing right now, right? And are more prone to overindulging. Watch them closely during feedings. Natural preventatives you can have on hand on the homestead. Ginger powder, a natural anti-gas and a digestive stimulant. Fennel seeds helps expel gas and soothe the gut. Slippery elm bark protects mucous membranes in the digestive tract. Apple cider vinegar, a small amount in their water, may support their overall gut health. Probiotics, especially after deworming, antibiotic treatment, or stress events. Also, routine observation is obviously key. You want to check on your guys daily, at a minimum daily, but I would say at a minimum 2 to 3 times a day. This is your vacation. When people ask where you're going, you'll notice a bloated goat immediately if you're familiar with their normal behavior and their belly shape. I mean, they look like a balloon, for real. So here's a quick emergency bloat checklist to wrap this whole thing up, right? Big deal. Check for left side swelling. If you weren't paying attention to anything, pay attention to this list. Check for left side swelling. Walk the goat. Massage the belly. Give them Gas X drops, the infant ones. I do not endorse, the product is not, there's no connection there. I'm just saying, offer baking soda or activated charcoal. Keep the goat upright. Never lay them flat. Call the vet if there's no improvement in 30 to 60 minutes. Learn how to tube a goat if you're in a remote area. It could save a life, especially if you live out in, Egypt or whatever. I'm joking, the saying. That's everything as far as bloat. Goat bloat specifically, from causes to emergency treatment to long-term prevention. Guys, this video was packed with emergency treatment and long-term prevention. If this helps you, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss any more real homesteading content here on DiamondTrail Ranch. We share our daily life here raising these Nigerian dwarf goats, chickens, ducks, and more. We've got, Nubian mixes, Alpine mixes. They come and go. We get them all here at DiamondTrail Ranch, literally. Same thing with the chickens and ducks. We get every breed you can think of. So, some call it a little slice of heaven in Florida. And it is, when you've got a bit of a past that you could write a book on. Let me tell you, this is amazing. The silence, it's amazing. Thanks for watching, guys. Hey, go check on your goats. Seriously.